Welcome to MMA on the Rocks. My name is Bill Welker. You are listening to episode 357 of the podcast. Today is Sunday, May 19th, and we are coming off of, I think, one of the best Apex cards in a long time. This card had everything. It had cardio wars. It had unlikely submissions. It had highlight reel knockouts. It had titty punch TKOs. And we're going to get into all of that. How was everybody's weekend? I'm actually getting an episode in on a Sunday. So, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know how your weekend is going or how it went. Mine was fantastic. Thanks for asking. My daughter, Ariana, rode her bike today without her training wheels for the first time. So very, very proud dad moment. Got to catch it on film. And it was awesome. I was so proud. She was working at it. She fell a couple of times, scraped her legs and got back up and kept trying. And then she nailed it. And she didn't want to stop. She just wanted to ride her bike all day after realizing that she could do it. So those are the really cool moments as a parent when you see them struggle with something and not give up and then achieve it. I'm looking forward to a lot more of those moments in the future. So Ariana, if you ever decide to go back and listen to any of Dad's podcasts for any reason as an adult, just know that I'm very proud of you, not just for riding the bike, but just in general. So there was that. All right, let's get into some fight stuff. And I feel like I don't want to bury the lead here, but I want to say the most talked about fight was Melissa Gatto and Tamiris Vidal. Now, I did a little. Now, bear with me, guys, too. I got a little bit of a dry throat here. I was down with a fever yesterday. I think it was just a little sinus infection, but I'm a little dried out in the sinuses and the throat here. Trying to clear it up with a little bit of whiskey, but bear with me. This is going to be a pretty short episode this evening. But I'm going to give you everything I got for about 30, 40 minutes here. So I'm on my couch, watching the fights, got a little fever, and this fight comes up on the prelims, Gatto versus Vidal. It ends in a very bizarre way. So Gatto was dominating this fight for 2 rounds. Damn near finished it in the second. So third round starts, she comes out and just sticks Vidal with a jab right in the tit. And Vidal took a second, backed up to avoid the follow-up punch, but then grabbed her breast, turned to the referee, Chris Tagnoni, looking to get a timeout or something, thinking that it was an illegal strike. Turns out it was not. Chris Tagnoni told her to keep fighting. Gatto follows up, basically grabs Vidal by the back, and then swings a right hand around and lands it right between her breasts for the follow-up. Vidal then completely turns her back, and Tagnoni was, credit to him for good refereeing in that, he told her there was a legal strike and that she had to continue, but then he stopped the fight from too far away. He was just out of position here. So while his commands were on point, his positioning was bad. He needed to be closer to the fighters while this was going on. Vidal basically signaled that she could not continue by turning her back. So Chris Tagnoni did the right thing and stopped the fight, but he had to do it from too far away. So there was a little bit of confusion. Now, I screen grabbed this from my couch and did a little voiceover. And I may or may not have exaggerated some of the commentary. And I got to tell you guys, my Instagram has been insane ever since. My phone has not stopped buzzing for the last 30 hours or so. 3 million views on this thing so far. So thank you to thank you to the three of you who have watched this reel a million times each. I appreciate all three of you. But no, the internet's a weird thing, right? You know, you put so much effort into content and, you know, record 2 hour long podcasts every week. And then it's the thing you do when you have a fever sitting on your couch that takes you 2 minutes. That kind of blows up. But hey, I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm glad everybody could get some laughs out of it. It was something that just kind of made me chuckle while I was sitting there watching the fight. So I thought I would share it with all of you. I didn't realize I'd be sharing it with, you know, millions of people, but that's the way it goes. When you put stuff out there, you never know how many people it's going to reach, I guess. So that was pretty cool. And people just going at it in the comments. There was a lot of confusion. People didn't seem to think, people thought the ref maybe was stopping the fight because it was an illegal shot. It wasn't. It is legal for females to punch each other in the breast. Now, the question comes up, should that be legal? Obviously, for females especially, there are a lot of nerve endings in that area. You know, the mammary gland, very sensitive. And I've been told from females that it's a similar sensation to males getting hit in the testicles. Now, there's a very small population of people who can describe what both sensations feel like, because not all of us were born with both parts. And, you know, even if you have, you know, an augmentation surgery or something like that to give yourself breasts, I don't think there's the same sensitivity as someone who is born with functional breasts. But it does seem to be very similar. There is the delayed reaction. You get hit, guys, you know this, you get hit in the testicles. You know, there's a 5 to 8 second period where you don't feel anything, and then all of a sudden you want to throw up. It's been described to me that women feel a similar sensation when they get hit in the breast, but it becomes a throbbing sensation in the head. So if anybody has experience with this, I want to hear about it. Leave some comments on here. Don't leave them on the Instagram post. Those have become a little too flooded. So I haven't had time to get through and respond to everybody or even read them all. Matt the Mechanic wants to know who knows. I guess someone who was born maybe a hermaphrodite. So they were born with testicles and breasts, and they're both sensitive, and they have taken blows to both of those areas. I guess that would be the only person who knows for sure. But in any case, do you guys think that this should be an illegal strike going forward? This is something that we saw a few months ago. Actually, we saw, I call it the mammary hammer. I've kind of coined that phrase, where a punch strikes the breast and does damage. You know, is this going to be something that we see females targeting going forward? Is it going to mean females who are more well endowed are going to be at a disadvantage? I don't know. It at least opens up the conversation. Is it something that female fighters want to advocate become illegal? Or does it have to become illegal, or just, hey, don't do that? You know, just a little more lax about it. Like, hey, No punching the titties, all right? Take it easy with that. And then, reset the action. We've never seen, or I've never seen anything like this before where a fight had to be stopped over this. But yeah, it kind of changes things, huh? Changes up strategies, ground and pound, opens up whole new opportunities. I don't know, man. There's just so many questions. I mean, another thing that's come up is, should women have more protective sports bras that they wear? I don't know, maybe. Maybe there's like a protective ring inside to cover the sensitive area. Um, and then, for other women, it doesn't seem to have been an issue. So I don't know. I know that definitely at certain stages of the menstrual cycle, that area can be more sensitive. So that can be an issue as well. I know who we need to talk to about this. We need to get Serena De Jesus on here, because she'll give us the real truth, and she'll tell us either, um, these women just need to toughen up, or she'll tell us there needs to be a rule change. She'll shoot us straight. So I need to get in touch with Serena and get her opinion on this. This is not a matter, I I can't tell you one way or any other that it should be made illegal, or what should be done about it, if anything. I think we would have to see a few of these before, we talk about any rule changes, for sure. But I mean, if we start to see it happen week after week, where women are just targeting the breasts now, um, then it can become an issue. Uh, so I guess I'll, I'll leave it up to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Um, do we just chalk this up to a freak accident? Do we bookmark it and come back to it later, or do we take action now and start looking at some rule changes? I think maybe polling the female fighters would be a good place to start. How do they feel about it? What do they think should be done? But credit to Chris Taglioni for, not giving Vidal the timeout that she asked for and stopping the fight as a TKO, but shame on him for being out of position, because he was way too far away from the action, for my taste, personally. Mark Fellows says, perhaps a gentleman's rule between the ladies, no titty shots. I don't know if that's a gentleman's rule then. It's a ladylike rule. A womanly rule. I don't know. I'm not sure of the terminology we should be using here, but yeah, I mean, I think, but I mean, if it's legal, don't tell me not to do it, right? Like, if it's legal to punch her in the tit, then punch her in the tit. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but it's definitely created some interesting discourse. That's for sure. I'm gonna segue on this to another interesting female fight: Ariane Carnelossi against Piera Rodriguez. Because this was another interesting one in which Rodriguez was dominating this fight, I thought. She was beating up Carnelossi pretty bad. And by the way, Carnellossi's physique, she looks like, for a 115-pound woman, she looks like a male bodybuilder. In any case, Carnellossi's on the bottom. Rodriguez headbutts her. And according to Rodriguez, she was just trying to move her head down, but on the replay, it looked like an intentional headbutt. Referee Mark Smith declares it an intentional headbutt, and Carnelossi wins a fight that she was being dominated in by disqualification. Now, if Mark Smith had said it was accidental and Carnelossi could not continue, since the fight was more than half over, it was 3 minutes, 16 seconds into the second round, I believe it would have gone to the judges' scorecards. Unless it has to be at least 2 rounds finished. But I believe the judges sort of scored it up to that point, in which case Rodriguez would have won. So, look, it was a blatant headbutt. The question now is, why would she headbutt her in a fight that she was winning? Like, I understand emotions are running high. You know, you do some questionable things when you're beating somebody up. You know, you're not always in the best state of mind, contrary to popular belief. It can be hard to be in control of your emotions and remember the rule set that you're under, and remember that, you know, even though it's sanctioned combat, there are still things that need to be followed. There are rules to it. But yeah, why do we see this happen in fights where, you know, I could see, like, maybe if she was losing and she was desperate, like, all right, let me throw a headbutt in here, try and hurt her a little bit. But she was winning the fight, I think, handily. And I think she was on the path to getting a stoppage if she just stayed on the, stay the course with the game plan she was using. I thought, she looked good up to that point. So there was no need for the headbutt. There is a need for this Buffalo Trace bourbon whiskey that I'm pouring right now, though, because I'm sure you guys can hear that my throat is pretty dry. So cheers to all you. Cheers to headbutts and titty punches. All right. So I don't know, but those were the two unusual endings. We had the tit punch, which they're calling a TKO from a punch to the body, which I guess is accurate. And then a disqualification by the headbutt. All right, I'll jump around now. Let's go to the main event. Lerone Murphy gets it done. Pretty much dominates Edson Barboza. I had a buddy of mine who used to co-host this show actually text me during this fight and say that he thought Barboza was fighting injured, some type of leg injury, and that's why he wasn't able to get his kicks off. That was possible. But the story of this fight, I think, was just the speed and the timing of Lerone Murphy. And Barboza just wasn't able to keep up. Now, I don't think that Barboza, I wouldn't be so quick to say that, Barboza is done, because I mean, he was still able to take a beating in there and keep coming forward, which, he's kind of known for. And, he didn't look terrible. He was just a big step behind this whole fight. And, he got some shots off on Lerone Murphy too. Lerone's face was pretty swollen at the end of this. So it's not like he got totally dominated and didn't get any shots in. He did. We just didn't see the same kind of speed we're used to with Barboza. We just saw somebody who's quicker in there. And maybe he was fighting with an injury, but we can't chalk it up to that. We got to give all the credit to Lerone Murphy here. So I imagine he's going to take Barboza's spot in the ranking at 12. What do you guys want to see next for him? I think I know Giga Chikadze has a fight on the books, but I think Lerone Murphy and Giga Chikadze would be a really fun fight. I think Lerone Murphy and Aljamain Sterling would make for a really interesting matchup as well. I don't know what the UFC's plans are for Aljamain. He was a former champion at the weight class below, came up and had a dominant performance over a top contender. Now he's ranked number 8. Lerone Murphy and Josh Emmett would be a lot of fun. That would be a really good one. Lerone Murphy and Yair Rodriguez down the line might be a good one. So yeah, a lot of different things you could do. And and I don't want to potentially knock off one of these up and comers, but Lerone Murphy and Diego Lopez. That one is interesting to me. There's a lot of, after that performance against Barbosa, you could tell me you're pairing Lerone Murphy up with anybody ranked 15 through 6, and I'm interested. Sadiq Youssef, yes. Diego Lopez, yes. Dan Ige, yes. Bryce Mitchell, yes. Calvin Kattar, yes. Giga Chikadze, yes. Aljamain Sterling, Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen, yes, yes, yes. Let's do it. Put him in there. I'm excited to see Lerone Murphy moving up in the rankings. I think he's super talented. All right, co-main event. Chaos Williams makes quick work of Carlston Harris. Carlston Harris came out with just a very awkward style, and you just got this feeling as soon as the fight started that it was just a countdown to Chaos Williams knocking him out. And, sure enough, he found the big punch and got it done. He did have a call out at the end of this, and I'm trying to remember who it is. I'm looking at the rankings here, but if you ask me, let's give Chaos Williams top 15. Vicente Luque, Neil Magny, Kevin Holland. Any of those names I think would be fun. Chaos Williams and Jeff Neal. Interesting matchup. So a lot of good options there. All right, the fight before the co-main event, Temba Garimbo and Ramiz Brahimaj. This was not a good fight, but there was a lot of emotion in this one because Temba in the pre-fight press conference was very emotional, talking about how his wrestling coach's mother had just passed away hours before he did the press conference. And they were talking about how he knew his mother was sick with cancer, and they were going to go visit her after the fight back in, I think she was in South Africa. And then he got the notice that she had passed away. And, Temba got choked up talking about it because he said, this guy could have gone back and seen his mother, but he's here with me. I have to win this fight for my coach. So, man, that was just a super emotional moment. And you got to love to see the bond between fighter and coach there. That was a really special thing. And it was really cool that, he wanted to go out there and get the win for his coach. All that being said, this was a boring fight. But, Temba did what he had to do. He held Brahimaj up against the cage. His clinch work was excellent. He kept hitting little foot sweeps, dragging him to the ground, and every time Brahimaj would get back up, he would drag him back down. And you could tell Brahimaj was exhausted, but he was never broken. And I think this would have broken a lot of fighters. Being held down like this, being held against the cage for this amount of time, it would break a lot of people. even at this level. So it says a lot for the dog that's in Brahimai, and it says a lot for Garimbo. He's going to be a lot to deal with in this division. And for that reason, a lot of people aren't going to want to fight him. He's going to have to put together some exciting performances. He can't just keep laying on guys for wins, but I understand that, we'll give him a pass on this one because he went in with so much emotion with his coach's mother passing away, and he apologized for the bad performance too. So I have to say, on behalf of the MMA community, given the circumstances, we accept your apology. Just give us an exciting fight next time out, and we'll call it even. All right, Adrian Yanez, first round TKO over Vinicius Salvador. A lot of people posting Dominic Cruz was saying he should stop trying to punch him so hard, and then Yanez hits the knockout. I don't know if that was edited or not, because I listened to the fights with the volume turned down. I don't hear a lot of the commentary, so I don't know if that was accurate or not, but if it is, it's pretty funny. Yanez redeeming himself, coming off back-to-back losses. I'm sure this must have felt good. Knockout win in the first round over a tough guy in Vinicius Salvador. Oh, man, I feel like Garimbo right now. I got to apologize to you guys because I got like a dry throat, getting a little back drip thing going on here. I feel like the voice is not up to the same quality you guys are used to. So I apologize for that. I'm going to try and hold it together for the rest of this show. Angela Hill. Anybody have Angela Hill by submission on their bingo card? Anybody bet that? Because she submits Luana Pinheiro by guillotine in the second round. And I got to say, I was super impressed with Angela Hill. I was saying on Thursday I was really interested in this fight because I wanted to see the clinch exchanges, because Angela Hill with her Muay Thai background versus Pinheiro with her judo background, if you had a Venn diagram of those two sports, they would meet in the middle section would be the clinch. Excuse me. I'll be all right, guys. I'll get through this show. All right. So the middle of the Venn diagram between judo and Muay Thai would be the clinch. And Angela Hill looked better in there. Locked up a guillotine and pulled guard for it. So she knew she had it locked in, and then kind of swept Pinheiro over and finished with the mounted guillotine, which was really nice. But she had it locked in tight. She said she knew there was only a minute left, so she might as well go for it. I believe it was her first submission win as a professional. So I know a lot of Angela Hill fans are really stoked out there because, if you've been rooting for Angela Hill, then you've been disappointed, with the close decision losses and just losing fights that she had the potential to win. She's been around a long time, and I think hasn't gotten the results that are deserved for her skill level compared to the rest of the strawweight division. So it was good to see her get that victory. Tom Nolan, TKO over Victor Martinez, not without a scare though. So Tom Nolan was piecing Victor Martinez up for the first 2.5 minutes of the first round. Victor Martinez, the shorter, stockier guy, but obviously packs a lot of power in his punches, was able to slip and rip to the inside and knocked Nolan down with a big right hand. And, Nolan was in trouble there. He had to get his guard on the ground, work his way back up to his feet. But then he was able to land a long knee to the body that really hurt Victor Martinez and then finish him off with some punches. So he got the result he wanted, but I think the path might have been a little more zigzagged than he would have hoped. he would have hoped to just continue beating on him until he got the TKO, not have to take that big shot and hit the ground and have to recover. But, it's good to face a little adversity on the way up as well. Nolan's still a young guy. He's only got 8 fights, so a lot to learn, but, 6'2" at 155. He's a big dude. I like the way he mixes his strikes up. He's going to be interesting to watch. The fact that he was brought into the UFC so young at this weight class says a lot about what he had been doing outside of the UFC. He came on the Contender Series with only 5 fights under his belt. For them to take a fighter who only has 5 fights in the 155-pound division, which, if there's 600 guys, if there's 600 males on the UFC roster, like 300 of them are probably 155 pounds. It's the most congested division. That division is about as congested as I am right now. Let's see. Umar Sy with a face crank submission over George Tacos. They're calling it a face crank, rear naked choke. Same difference. Cranks are submissions. I'll die on this hill. Let's see. Abus Magomedov, unanimous decision over Warley Alves. Dominant. Completely dominant. Just smothered Warley Alves in this fight. And I did not see the first 2 fights, but if I need to go back and watch them, Hailey Alatang, unanimous decision over Clayton Rodriguez, and Vanessa Demopoulos got a split decision win over Emily Ducote. Overall, I thought this was a fantastic Apex card. The drama, the unusual finishes, the knockouts, the submissions. You had everything. Yeah, a couple of stinkers in there, but so what? And then you had a rising star come to light in Lerone Murphy. Almost got caught. I think it was in the 3rd round. One of those famous spinning back kicks that put Kevin Lee on stilts in that famous clip from a few years ago. There were Bellator fights this weekend, but only 2 of them I cared about. So, Patchy Mix, split decision win over Magomedov, and then Cedric Doumbé, first round TKO over Jaleel Willis. So Cedric Doumbé had that weird fight his last time out where he got something stuck in his foot. It was like a metal splinter or something. He was trying to tell the referee, like, hey, man, something stabbed in my foot. And the referee ruled it a TKO. So I don't know. Would you guys rather get a metal splinter in your toe or get punched in the tit? Let me know. And then we have a new undisputed world heavyweight champion in boxing. Alexander Usyk defeats Tyson Fury by split decision. So the first time that we have had all these titles unified since the 1990s, when it was Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. That was the trivia question that Matt the Mechanic gave me last week, and surprisingly, I got it right. I'm super rusty on my boxing trivia, but that was probably the last decade I was really into boxing, was the 1990s. So I guess it kind of makes sense that I got it. But I didn't watch this fight. I saw the highlights. I saw the 9th round where Usyk sent Tyson Fury stumbling back into the corner and forced a standing 8 count. And Tyson Fury thinks he won the fight. I don't know. I can't find the motivation to go back and watch 12 rounds of boxing that already happened to judge it. So unless you guys think if I get 100 of you that say, Bill, you need to go back and watch this, and we need your scorecard, yeah, I'll watch it. But outside of that, no, thank you. No, I don't care. I don't care. Congratulations, Alexander Usyk. You're the champ, man. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need to go back and watch it. So he's undefeated. I imagine they're going to do an immediate rematch. It's the only thing that makes sense. All right. I believe there's no UFC coming up this week. And let me just double check that for you guys. So I don't know if we're going to be doing an episode on Thursday, picks and pours, or if we're just going to do something different. Let's see. Where's the calendar here? Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, we don't have UFC until June. So June 1st, we're going to have Makhachev and Poirier. That's UFC 302. So that'll be a fun one to break down. So UFC's dark next week. I don't know if we're going to have anything to talk about on Thursday, but maybe we'll throw a show together for you guys. Again, I appreciate all the new people jumping in who may have found me through that Instagram post about women getting their chests punched in. It's not my preferred way to be introduced to people of the world, but here we are. So thanks for joining. Great timing, Mark. He says, great shirt, Bill. Where can we pick one up? I'll let you know. You can grab one of these shirts through our friends at Team Reaper. Reaper1.co is the website. You can use the promo code MMA Rocks 10. Save yourself 10% on your entire order. You can get a t-shirt, tank top, or hoodie. It says over the top, under the influence. And they're quite comfortable. I wear mine regularly. Although I still don't own one of the hoodies, which I don't think I ever will, because I just enjoy running jokes into the ground. So, little fact about me. So that's that. But if you guys want to grab some merchandise, you can go through that website. The links are in the show notes, as always. So you can go directly through there. And that's all we got. Try to keep it short and sweet for you guys, because my voice was dying halfway through. But luckily, this Buffalo Trace saved me a little bit. I was able to get in just enough vocals out to get through nearly 40 minutes of an episode tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about, should there be rule changes about the chest punches for the females or not, or just what do you think in general? Let me know. I do take the feedback into consideration. And that's all I got. So until next time, cheers everybody, goodbye.